Coming to our top focus now, the COVID-19 pandemic has claimed 1.3 million lives globally, and now there is hope that a vaccine may be available early next year. Pfizer and Moderna have announced a 95% efficacy rate. Russia has said that its candidate, the Sputnik vaccine, is showing a 92% efficacy rate. President Putin has said that India and China are countries which could start producing the Sputnik vaccine. As with Pfizer, the preliminary report of Sputnik vaccine efficacy is yet to be published in a peer-reviewed medical journal. The consignment of the Sputnik vaccine has arrived in India and trials are set to begin soon. We are now joined by Kirill Dmitriev, the CEO of the Russian Direct Investment Fund. Mr. Dmitriev, thank you for joining us here on CNBC TV 18. I'd like to begin by asking you about the current stage of clinical trials of the Sputnik vaccine.
Already had more than 20,000 people receive first and second shot of the vaccine, and we had around 20 people being infected. And if you do the numbers, and this is our first data point of interim review, we have 92% efficacy rate, which is very significant. You know, anything above 50% is considered to be very good in the world of vaccines. So we are in this camp of Pfizer and Moderna and other vaccines who have very good efficacy so far, but so far only Pfizer, Moderna, and us shared initial results of phase 3 clinical trials.
And when is the data on interim results likely to be published?
Yes, so the results will be published in December. We already published phase 1 and phase 2 in the Lancet magazine. We will also publish second interim review results next week, and we will also publish the protocol of our clinical studies. So all of the data will be published as well at the end of clinical trials. So there is full transparency from the Russian side. And what's very important, we based our vaccine on the human adenoviral vector. We believe this is the most proven and effective platform that has been studied for decades. And this is a big advantage of the vaccines that we have.
Russia has not yet joined WHO's COVAX facility. Any plans on doing so?
Yes, so we are working with COVAX, we are working with CEPI. We submitted full set of documents to WHO. So again, full transparency from the Russian side. And we actually consider this vaccine really to be a Russian-Indian vaccine, because most of the production will be in India. We have 4 manufacturing partners in India that will be producing the vaccine. We already have clinical trials started in India. So for us, it's really a great partnership, a project between Russia and India. And we appreciate the Indian pharma industry and the expertise you've built very, very much.
Recently, the Indian government clinical trials of the Sputnik vaccine in India. When do you expect the clinical trials to begin?
Well, your labs are already testing our vaccine, so the clinical trials have pretty much begun. We have great partner in Dr. Reddy, who are a great partner, and they are running with the CRO clinical trials in India. And we are working very closely with your regulators. So we hope for regulatory approval even as early as January, and are ready to supply vaccine as early as January, and believes that this is a great Russian-Indian project, very important for Russia and India and for the rest of the world.
Right. President Putin, during the BRICS summit, had said that India and China are probably among the first countries which will be producing this vaccine. Are you looking at production only in India and China as of now?
Well, we also have partnership with Korea. We also have a partnership with Brazil. We're actually going to produce also vaccine in Hungary and some other nations. So we are willing to share our know-how, because we believe the whole world needs to come together to be a partner to solve this pandemic. So we are sharing our technology, our knowledge with manufacturers around the world. But India for us is the main partner because you have great manufacturing facility, you have great scientists. So India is the main production partner for Russia for sure.
How many companies, apart from Dr. Reddy's, are you talking to in order to manufacture the COVID vaccine, Mr. Dmitriev?
So in India, we already have 4 partners who are working on the vaccine. They have already received the vaccine, and they are manufacturing the vaccine as we speak. And then we have around 5 other partners in other nations, and we hope to have around 10 manufacturing partners in different parts of the world to be able to serve different markets around the world.
Okay. Now, speaking about Hungary, EU has warned Hungary against the use of the Sputnik vaccine. Would you be sharing data with the European Medicines Agency to prove that the vaccine is safe?
Sure, we already submitted application for EMA, European Medical Agency review on 22nd of October. We're completely transparent on our data. And I think it's very important not to have politics in vaccines. Vaccines should be beyond politics, and any kind of restrictions that we hear, frankly, are very bad for citizens of Hungary, are very bad for citizens of EU. Citizens of EU need to have access to different platforms, different vaccines. There is no question that human adenoviral vector vaccines that we use has been studied much more and has been proven to be safe much more than other more novel approaches. And people need to have a choice and have access to human adenoviral technology, which we provide. Also, Johnson & Johnson will do a vaccine based on human adenovirus vector. It's a very important technology, the best studied, the safest technology that exists for the COVID vaccine, as we believe.
You know, we understand that you're talking to the Indian government on supplies of the Sputnik vaccine once the trials are completed. Where are the talks heading? What is the current stage of those negotiations?
So we are in discussion, and you have a great COVID task force, and there is great interest in our platform. So we are making great progress, and your biotech labs are actually government biotech labs used as part of the clinical trials. So we have great discussions with your government. We understand you also have your Indian vaccine, 2 Indian vaccines that are also can be very successful. But the key takeaway from our discussions with your government, they understand they need to have a portfolio of vaccines, different types of vaccines. That is providing risk-free approach to COVID vaccination. So they're definitely interested in partnering with us on delivering our Sputnik V vaccine to India.
And finally, what kind of infrastructure would India need to store the Sputnik vaccine if it's approved for mass usage?
Well, we have 2 versions. One needs to be stored at -18 degrees. Another one can be stored at +2 to +8 degree range. So we will be supplying originally the -18 degree version, which will require some storage capacity, cold storage. But then as of February, most of our vaccine production will actually be in the forms that can be used in +8, which is obviously much easier to transport and much easier logistically. So we are working on logistics with Dr. Reddy. They have great experience. And India, of course, has great logistic infrastructure. So we are very proud to be working on this with Dr. Reddy. We believe that we'll be supplying vaccine to India and other countries and focusing eventually on +2, +8 degree solution.
Right. Kirill Dmitriev, thank you very much for joining us on CNBC TV 18, telling us about the progress of the Sputnik vaccine now.